This is why experts are warning that a massive tsunami could potentially hit the west coast. And now yesterday and the ongoing today, we had the earthquake swarms hitting just south of Lassen Peak volcano in the Cascades. And we know that Cascades, of course, California has a lot of high threat volcanoes in the Cascades and the California area. So they say we're living on a giant rock that is flying through space. And the truth is that this giant rock is not very stable. There are dozens of significant earthquakes around the world each day. And Michael Snyder says, as I write this article, volcanoes are erupting all over the planet. In addition, scientists are starting to detect a lot of very unusual activity on the floors of our oceans. Hydrothermal vents can heat water to temperatures greater than 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And a team of researchers recently discovered a sprawling field of such vents in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Well, we know that the Earth is growing at the size of the fingernail every year, and the middle of the Atlantic Ocean has the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, which, as we know, has magma underneath. So the vents in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. On March 12, a team of scientists gathered in the control room of RV Falkor it's an oceanographic research vessel operated by the Schmidt Ocean Institute. They watched the monitor of a camera-wielding underwater drone, or ROV, as it explored the deep sea 2,000 meters at 6,600 feet below the ship. When the screen showed a plume of black smoke, the scientists cheered. The video showed a sprawling field of hydrothermal vents, fissures in the seabed where seawater mixes with magma. On the Puy de Fou volcano in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and some of the vents known as black smokers had formed tall chimneys of iron sulfide deposits that gushed out dark sulfurous plumes with temperatures up to 340 degrees Celsius, that's 644 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot enough to melt lead. There's much more going on under the water than we realize. And according to Newsweek, over 19,000 new underwater volcanoes have been discovered, and we're being told that thousands more could still be found because most of our ocean floors have not been mapped yet. Could all of this seismic activity be the reason why ocean temperatures have been rising so rapidly? Well, obviously, and that's a no-brainer. Of course, if you heat the temperatures like this, of course, the ocean temperatures are going to rise rapidly. Scientists are alarmed at sea surface temperatures stubbornly maintaining record-breaking highs for more than a month, pushing the state of Earth's oceans into uncharted territory. Starting in mid-March, data from the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, leaps dramatically from earlier recordings following lows of both Arctic and Antarctic sea ice this year. As a consequence, a large number of ocean heat waves are emerging around the globe, putting untold pressure on wildlife. Something unusual caused ocean temperatures to jump dramatically beginning in mid-March. Is it possible that we're being cooked from underneath? 50 miles off the coast of Oregon, scientists have discovered a giant hole that is spewing hot liquid into the Pacific Ocean like a fire hose. Experts are on high alert amid fears a crack at the bottom of the ocean could trigger an apocalyptic earthquake. The hole, just 50 miles off the coast of the U.S. state of Oregon, is spewing hot liquid that scientists warn could spark a magnitude 9 earthquake with the potential to devastate the west coast. Unlike hydrothermal vents, this giant hole is actually leaking tectonic lubricant, and the loss of this tectonic lubricant could easily become a major issue. Therefore, the more fluid that is in the cracks of the faults, the less pressure there is between two tectonic plates, and without it, pressure beneath the Earth's crust can grow, leading to an unbelievably powerful earthquake. This leak is happening right along the Cascadia subduction zone, and the earthquakes that we have at Lassen Peak, the big one yesterday, 5.3 magnitude, was felt by over 2,000 people reported it, so tens of thousands must have felt it. Now, it's an unbelievably powerful earthquake, in that area could have the potential to create a very large tsunami, they say. The sliding under movement of subduction is very different from the side-to-side grinding of the San Andreas Fault to the south. There, frequent movements, experiences earthquakes, release tectonic tension before it builds to catastrophic levels. Along the subduction zone, however, this tension builds for hundreds of years and releases with explosive force. When the Juan de Fuca plate jams farther north, the North American plate, it will push it up 30 feet or more and displace vast quantities of seawater, and a tsunami will be born. Do you remember the enormous tsunami that hit Japan a number of years ago? Well, we're talking about a tsunami that would absolutely dwarf that one. A magnitude 9 earthquake along the Cascadia subduction zone could cause a tsunami that would be up to 100 feet tall, and that would travel at speeds of up to 600 miles an hour. And when it does, it will send waves surging outwards at initial speeds of up to 600 miles an hour. Less than an hour after the quake, they will inundate the coast up to an elevation of 100 feet above sea level in some spots, more typically 30 to 60 feet, depending on bathymetry, tides, and other factors. They will sweep up buildings, trees, vehicles, and people. And if you live directly along the west coast, when that day arrives, there will be no escape. So let's hope that day does not come anytime soon. Of course, we have been seeing quite a bit of seismic activity along the west coast recently. About a week ago, there were 2 swarms of earthquakes in the Salton Sea area. That's the Imperial Valley. 2 swarms of earthquakes reaching up to 4.5 magnitude rattled the Salton Sea region of Southern California, the U.S. Geological Survey reports. The first swarm began at 12:08 p.m. Saturday, April 29, in Heber near U.S.-Mexico border, about 60 miles of the Salton Sea, the USGS reported. It included nearly 50 tremors, reaching up to 3.7 magnitude, felt by about 60 people. And one of the team of scientists in Southern California claims that they have detected more than 1,200 shallow quakes in the past 8 months. Los Angeles could be at risk of a major earthquake, the study suggests. Scientists from the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, have detected more than 1,200 shallow earthquakes in the past 8 months, and these shallow quakes were detected about 1 mile below the surface, which can build up and create pathways for more significant ruptures on the surface. Experts assure us that this is just a matter of time before the big one strikes California. And experts also assure us that it's just a matter of time before a giant tsunami caused by an earthquake along the Cascadia subduction zone absolutely devastates much of Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. In fact, each case we are being told that we are way overdue. So the clock is ticking, and one of these days our good fortune is going to run out. And this is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book titled To End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End and Living a Life That Really Matters, Commissions Earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one of the ways that you can help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of the latest updates. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream and the Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is on End of the American Dream by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.